Everybody, it's Mike. This is my weekly update. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Christy and I had a fun time with our Lori's Hand board members and clients and supporters tonight doing distance dining with Dom. So great food demonstration, raffles, and live music by Hefe via Zoom. It was a lot of fun, and all monies are going to clients dealing with isolation during COVID-19. So it was a fun time. If you don't know about Lori's Hands, look it up. Great organization. Happy to be a part of it. So we're going to go by the numbers, state of emergency updates, community updates, district initiatives, and then of course the quote of the week. So by the numbers, current hospitalizations were at our lowest mark in quite some time. We're at 93. Kind of the peak, if you want to think about it, was April 27th, where we were at 337 hospitalizations. So doing really well in that regard, even though do need to keep an eye on it. Folks that do have it and end up in the ICU in the hospital, they're having a really, really hard time. I've heard from a lot of nurses and doctors. So something to keep in mind when you're thinking and praying about our neighbors' loved ones. New hospitalization admissions were at 12. Percentage of persons who have tested positive were at 2, which is great. New positive cases, only 34. Total positive cases since the start of the shutdown is 10,264. Total deaths, we're now at 422. And we'll kind of get into the cases by age and deaths by age because the data keeps getting better on the website, which is a good thing. Total people tested were 81,787. I know the county's testing roughly 1,000 people a day at their testing sites. We'll name 2 in a little bit. Folks that have tested negative, 71,523. So cases by age group, just to kind of give you an idea in terms of percentages, from the ages of 0 to 4, we're at 1%. From the ages of 5 to 17, we're at 5%. From the ages of 18 to 34, we were at 27%. From the ages of 35 to 49, we're at 26%. And from the ages of 50 to 64, we're at 23%. And from the ages of 65 plus, we're at 19%. Now let's correlate those same age brackets with the deaths by age. From 0 to 4, we're at 0%. From ages 5 to 17, we're at 0%. From ages 18 to 34, we're at 3%. From ages 35 to 49, we're at 3%. From ages 50 to 64, we're at 14%. And from ages 65 plus, we are at 80%. Roughly all of our deaths have obviously been 65 and older, most in our long-term care facilities. Unfortunately, with a lot of our loved ones, and mostly all of these cases have had pre-existing conditions. A few have not, but we're learning a lot about folks that have had pre-existing conditions and contracting COVID-19. And of course, our most vulnerable, our loved ones, the 65 plus, and those in long-term care facilities, they're our most vulnerable. So we need to keep helping them. If we can go to the grocery store for them, get items for them, check in on them, those are the folks we need to keep an eye on. State of the emergency updates. So we start phase 2 today for our business reopening plan. That really raises capacity numbers for most industries, some not, like gyms and folks like that, but the restaurants go to 60% now. Indoor gatherings are still for 50 people not related to your family that you've been quarantining with. Outdoors 250. And then if you look in the comments section, I'll put the full link for what the phase 2 guidelines are. I'm a part of the back to school working group with the health and wellness committee. We've had 2 real meetings outside of the original orientation. It's been kind of backwards, to be honest with you. I think our chairs are doing a great job, but the state hired a consultant under the threshold for procurement. They kind of brought us a plan and started us at Z, and now we're working backwards to Delawareize it, as they call it. Sometimes it does feel like they put the committee together just to sign off to say, here's the expertise we had, and they thought it was a good idea. So my colleagues and I have some concerns we've been raising on that. Thank you, and continue to send me all of your feedback. I've been sending that to the department for the record, and as they go through these recommendations. We have to give our recommendations by, I believe it's July 15th, and then DOE has to then take that, make their plan, give it to the school districts so that the school districts can then implement on the local level. Private schools as well. Private schools will take what the state guidelines are, and then they'll have local control from there. There also is a pandemic resurgence advisory committee that's being led by our Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall-Long and Secretary of State Jeff Bullock, the 3 subcommittees there. Their recommendations are due by July 31st, my apologies, and September 30th. Some community updates, the Paper Mill Road project, woohoo, great news. It's opening this Friday, June 19th. Thank you for all of your patience for the full road closure. The Little Baltimore Road project, phase 1 is started. The bridge has been ordered, and then the bridge construction will actually trigger the first road closure for the project. That's tentatively scheduled for mid-August. I'll continue to send you updates on that and get at that meeting with DelDOT for the community to get some questions answered. It is now on the holds of the project managers and the construction companies, so they would have to be a part of that as well. The DSWA Recycling Center in Lantana Square, that will unfortunately be going away permanently. DSWA's been consolidating their site since a lot of the trash haulers have been doing curbside pickup for recycling. It's actually minimized the demand at these at the shopping center sites, so they're consolidating. So that will close on June 30th, and it'll be moving to 496 Corporate Boulevard in Newark, so take note of that. And there could be changes to where some of those will be in the future, but I wanted you to make note of that one because I've gotten a few emails about it. The Christina School District referendum did pass, and they also hired a new superintendent, Dan Shelton. So welcome him. Dan's pretty well known in the swim community and school community. Hear a lot of great things about Dan. Look forward to working with him, hearing what his ideas are, and truly implement the funding and the programs that it's meant to be implemented to based off the referendum. Want to make sure that there's good transparency and oversight of that. We have some testing sites for COVID-19 coming up this week in our area. The first is Thursday, the 18th at First Alliance Church on Graves Road. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on Saturday, June 20th at North Star Elementary. That is also from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sign up on the website. I'll put the link again in the comments section. Drive-ups are welcome. Again, they're roughly doing about 1,000 tests a day. It's very well organized. I went to 2 just to check it out myself, so you'd be in and out pretty quickly. Virtual session, we go in on Thursday, the 18th at 4 p.m. There's two agendas. One is a consent agenda with numerous bills that are COVID-19 related, and another is what they're calling COVID-19 related, which is on its own agenda, which is the mail-in ballot bill. I've gotten a lot of emails about that. I'll probably send you guys an update later on in the week about this process overall, just to kind of share your thoughts and share my thoughts, and so you can understand it a little better, and sort of the transparency issues along the way, just to show you kind of how the sausage is made a little bit. District initiatives, PPE still working with Donate Delaware. We were able to get, with the money raised from the food drive and PPE drive, over 1,300 gowns to our long-term care facilities. Awesome. And a lot of PPE items donated as well, along with thousands of dollars. Food bank, we were able to get thousands of pounds of food donated, thousands of dollars donated for more food. And we were able to actually, with Senator Walsh, Senator Darcola, Representative Williams, do a food distribution drive last week at the Epsilon Community Center. So still doing a lot with the food bank. It's all been amazing. Still holding the small business calls. Won't have one this week, but probably next week. Keep an eye out for a community Zoom meeting with me as well. Senior Spotlight Series, we've ended that. But check out the video that I did a commencement address on some lessons that I've learned along the way to the class of 2020. Quote of the week to end it out: life has no limitations except the ones you make. And that's by Les Brown. Have a good week.